Hey guys!
Hello, welcome to another episode.
A fantastic episode at that, by the way. We really enjoyed it.
This was a nice episode.
Yeah, we talked about navigating the corporate world, some of the nuggets, some of the things that
we've picked up.
From our own personal journeys, from our friends' personal journeys. You know, there's always things that you hear.
People around us, yeah.
It was an amazing conversation and a needed conversation, especially maybe if you've not yet gotten a job, maybe you're in the job and trying to figure it out. Yeah, and just for anyone, generally.
My name is Kanji.
I'm Alexia Musau.
And truthfully, I think I'm actually going to re-listen to this one and be like, wait, what did I say here?
Yeah.
But yeah, if you have any, again, you'll get to know what we're talking about. But if you have anything you pick up along the way, please be sure to leave it in the comments, subscribe, share this video, and give us some tips on what we're missing out on, how to navigate through the workforce while I'm still navigating and figuring that out as well, and as Alexia gears up to possibly go back to that workforce, we need your advice as well. A couple of years more than us.
Yeah. And also, please, I'm sure there's someone in your life who this episode can help them.
Yeah.
So
send it to them.
Be kind. Share. Okay. With that said, enjoy the episode.
Enjoy.
Bye. Welcome guys to
another episode. We are growing closer and closer to episode 100, which is a milestone for us.
It's a huge milestone, yeah? It's going to be this year, God willing.
It's like November. That's like 5 episodes in. So that's like next week, but 2.
90, 93, 94.
Hey, when is season 5 ending?
Let's figure 96, 97, 98, 99. It's November. So I think it can end in November.
Yeah, anyway. Today's is gonna be an interesting one. It came to us that we've both had a bit of work experience when it comes, and this is specific to like the corporate kind of workforce where it's either you work from home, or maybe you go to the office more often than not. This is kind of like the typical vibe, and based off our experience, we thought, why don't you do an episode of maybe what you should expect when you go to the workforce, especially because we also have an audience that labda wamemaliza uni or are trying to get into their jobs. We have a young audience that as well maybe have not done the work thing. They've gone straight into entrepreneurship and maybe are looking to get into the corporate world.
Yeah.
Hey, kuna my expectations of what maybe you might find there.
Yeah, and maybe just how to navigate based on
what we've done. Of course, there's people who have done it so many years beyond us, and kudos to them. They know the ins and outs more than we do, but we're just going to talk from our personal experience
and what we've also learned from people, because I think even me, this year I found like a thread, just a tweet, and I was like, true, by the way, about things that I didn't even know getting into corporate life, and I was like, whoa, okay, probably I should have done this a bit different and stuff like that. But anyway, I think to start us off, I'm just going to give a brief description of our work experience so far and the industries we've worked in and just how that was for us, yeah?
Sorry, I was looking down. Sorry.
Okay.
Sometimes I get distracted.
So we're just going to give a brief overview.
Description.
Of what we've done in terms of work-wise and for how long and whatever. So I think I'm going to start because mine is probably a bit shorter. So my last job was my first corporate job. And it was one of those jobs it was during COVID 2020, towards the end of the year. And I think I had been home for that whole year and stuff. Yeah, and I just moved also to evening classes as well. So I had a lot of free time on my hands. And of course, starting 2020, the plan was to get a job. And then, of course, now COVID came, so we had to go home. So I was like, okay, let this thing run its course. Then things started picking up, and I was like, okay, let me just start applying for jobs. So I used to apply, but I wasn't really specific about what I wanted. I just wanted something to kill time. I just wanted to make sure during the day I'm doing something. So I remember just sending CVs, sending Nini. Got a lot, not a lot, but got, your first rejection is usually so, especially because I think the first place I applied for was a creative. She's a creative, and she's a creative, and she was just looking, and she also had a business, so she was looking for someone to come in more for the business side of it. But now where she shoots her content is where her small business used to operate as well. So I was like, wow, she's a creative. I could start learning from her. Maybe even use her space in one corner of the space. Yeah, and I loved her vibe, kabisa. So I really, really, really wanted that job. I didn't get it, and that was my first rejection letter.
And sometimes you feel like when you're applying for a job, this is the job for me. Like you already start to imagine the yes has already come in.
I just feel, all my life I've been led to this moment. Because that time already you're researching a lot about the company. You're on their LinkedIn. You're like, even looking at the people who work there just to see, okay, Anyway, so I had applied a couple of places, and then I got a call one day from a number, and they're like, oh, we're calling you in response to what your application is like. I couldn't even remember which company this is. I had to go back to my emails, look, and then find out what this company was all about, because now they had called me in for an interview. So anyway, I ended up in the real estate industry and real estate construction-ish. Of course, I wasn't picky at that point. I was just like, good, might. But immediately I realized I don't have time. I don't have a life. Actually, that was my first. I had a crisis. Those ones of you're going back home and you're like, is this my life forever?
Forever, because it was a proper.
Yeah, it was a proper 8 to 5, and even at some point Saturdays was introduced. And at that time I was feeling, apana. Now you're overdoing. Actually, you're overdoing it. Come on, a social life. May I have a social life? Yeah. So, but anyway, I was like, it's okay. I told myself, let me just try push until a year at least. And I was like, anyway, wherever you are, just try and make the best out of the situation. Yeah. So that's where I was for 1 year in real estate. It was a bit not the best of not what I'd say I really envisioned it to be. But again, I feel like my character really developed. And actually now I'm starting to see, recently I've started seeing some skills that I've been looking to pursue, or just things that I'm realizing, I'm good at that. And I'm like, where did I pick this up? Then I remember I used to do it then. And that work sometimes used to annoy me, but I'm like, oh, okay. But now it's helping me now, So, yeah, I believe that everything works for a reason and stuff like that. So I was there for 1 year, left this year, January, or let's say December. I didn't come back in January. Still haven't gone back into corporate. Been thinking about it. Just don't think it's the time. This year is the time. Probably from next year, I think I'll be in a better frame of mind, and some of the projects that I'm working on won't need me there full time and can, be okay on their own. Yes, so that was my corporate experience. Very simple, actually.
Okay, well, I've had I feel like I've had so many different experiences for someone who's still not green, who's just finished uni. My first corporate experience, a similar story to Alexia. It was COVID times, and not much was going on. I was in my house 24/7, 365, and there was nothing, and I needed something. Like school was online, so I just said, okay, let's start applying for jobs. And I was applying on those to LinkedIn jobs, blah blah blah. Not, for me, I think rejection was not a fear I had, because I've always had the mindset from even when I was in high school of like adapting, going through things that will allow you to go through rejection, so that you become used to it, so that when it happens, it doesn't throw you off so much. I think the last rejection I had that threw me off.
Are those the trumpets? Guys, it's time.
Anyway,
That can be so scary.
that was Anyway, the last experience that I had, a huge rejection that really threw me off, it was right after high school when I applied for ALA, African Leadership Academy, which is in South Africa. And I got that rejection, and I really, really saw myself in that position. I really wanted to get it, and actually my best friend, who's now thriving, Gail, got it.
Yeah, you applied at the same time.
Yeah, we applied at the same time, and also our other friend Kyoko, a couple of guys applied during that year, and I didn't get in, and my heart just really sank. I really cried. It took time for me to get over it, but I think it really prepared me for now other rejections. Yeah, so applied for a couple of jobs here and there, of course, got my 2 rejections, whatever. Then I think 3 months after applying for some job, I got an email back that, congratulations, you've qualified for an interview. Did an interview. It was a marketing agency. I was like, yeah, okay, did an interview. What got me that job, by the way, was my YouTube channel. Just saying.
Yeah. We'll talk about that. I think we've talked about it and just how the things that you don't think are skills or...
Yeah, the things for sure. And I think that I was going to say that the first point that we talk about as we get into this episode should be that what to expect is the amount of rejections you probably will get before you get it. And the things that will get you in are probably those things that you don't see as skills, but really are. My YouTube channel, I had pictures on Instagram. It's a marketing agency and I have confidence. That was the full package for an internship entry level. But it was free labor. Honest, it was free. For the first 3 months, it was free. I wasn't being paid anything. So I said, okay, work experience, let's do it. Did it my 3 months. After it ended, they integrated me. Was still paying me very little, honestly, for the year that I was there. But I learned a lot, but I also learned that form of marketing was not for me. But it was mostly also a work from home job. I barely used to see my workmates. So it was still okay. I was still getting my work experience that I wanted. It was very in line with my degree. The time it was for internship, meaning I already have a job. Everything was just flowing. So yeah, I worked a whole year there, and then before I decided to go, I started quiet quitting, which is the term we were talking about. Until now, I finally quit. But by the time I was quitting, 3 months before then, or 3-4 months, I got another job in management consultancy. And I really liked that job because it also opened my eyes to see people. I'm working this job, and I'm working half the job in consultancy and making way more in a week than I would in a month doing what I was doing. So I said, clearly, see, and I'm not even enjoying this job. Yeah. So yeah, I loved my experience working in management. Still work from home mainly. I got multiple gigs. Felt that maybe I might get into consultancy because honestly, I feel like it pays well for whatever the job normally is in consultancy. But that's a story for another day.
Nice. Anyway.
In the most respectable way possible. And yeah, I really enjoyed that. I stayed there for about 5 months before now I stopped getting gigs, which was a moment of panic because I quit my job, no longer getting gigs in management consultancy. Then, yeah, I started working for the company I work for now, and it's been an amazing journey. It's almost my 1-year anniversary. So, yeah, I've worked for
time flies.
Yeah, time flies, and it doesn't even feel like it. I feel like I've achieved so much since starting working there. And that's when now I truly started the full-on corporate experience. I go to the office. There's now a team. You meet people in the office. Drama. No, this is barely drama, but now that I feel like that's where I got now full-on now experience. And so, yeah, I've been there maybe 2.5 years working in corporate world.
Yeah. Amazing. Anyway, so that's us. That's what we've been through. As you can tell, we've not been in it for a long time, but both our experiences are not. They're not the same. They're different. So we're just
and
gonna
I think
share.
we have enough beginner to say, okay, this is probably what we didn't know or what we now got to know. When we started working for corporate.
So I think the first thing we're going to talk about is friendships, because this is a thing that people always say, colleagues are not your friends, or you what. But as human beings, you want to make friends. You want to feel like
part of
you have a community, and obviously there's always that one person or two people that is your clique. I mean, you spend so many hours working, so you'll probably have friends. So what for you would you say has been your experience, or what do you know better now about friendships? Yeah.
Honestly, these are people you're probably gonna spend a lot of time with.
Yeah.
Every day. Maybe just Saturday, Sunday, but Saturday, Sunday, you'll also kind of like a cheeky email or a cheeky text on Slack or whatever. What I've learned is it's very difficult for you to move forward without having friends at work. You need to have at one best friend, or you don't have to be friends with the whole team. But okay, my first job, my experience was I was cordial with everyone, I was acquainted with everyone, but my one true friend is my friend till today, who is Niels, who we've been friends ever since. But it just made work easier. You need sometimes, if I'm not in me, he's there to back me.
But what did he used to do actually?
He works in marketing. He was in marketing. No. He still works in marketing, but now in the tourism industry. But at that time I was meeting him, I was very fascinated by him because it's this white man living in Belgium, but loves Kenya so much, has no way of coming to Kenya. But so it was also interesting to see his journey of him actually getting a job in Kenya and him being excited and quitting this job. We both quit. So I was there in his journey of when he had to quit, or when he quit his job, and then that's when I was like,
my best friend has gone.
He's gone. And he's gotten greener pastures from all the way in Belgium. Surely even me, I can get something. I don't think I could have done it without having Niels there, because it can get very, especially if you don't like your job. If you don't like your job,
need some motivation.
The motivation to take you is at least there's some drama, there's some activity. It's like high school almost, but a bit more advanced to say. I think at least I had that one friend, and then now my workmates right now are like a very huge part of my life, and all of them really, well, most of them, and I got that culture because they too were friends before they started working together. So we are all just friends, and it makes you also not want to let your friend down. So it also motivates you to want to do your job better, and everyone's motivated. These guys have your back, and I truly feel without friendship, I don't think you'll survive fully in the corporate space. Truthfully, you can say you want to be that person who's different. It's okay, you don't interact, you won't get those promotions you're thinking about. You won't get those opportunities. You'll be left out in work banter. These guys, maybe one time they're going for drinks after, or they're going, I don't know, activities after. And you don't have to be in all of them, but feeling left out in any capacity or in any situation is going to always make you feel some type of way. Which other example can I give? It's like you're in a group of people, or your girlfriends, and your girlfriends keep doing things without you. It's not the same thing, but you kind of get the feeling, because again, these are people you spend, it's difficult. These are people you spend a lot of time with every day. Most of your time. These become
9 hours a day.
Yeah, that's a lot of time every day. And in workforce, hakuna ati midterm. Leave 21 days out of a whole year. So it's better to make friends than to make enemies, because it can make your work very difficult to survive in that space. And when you're friends, long story short, you get more motivated to do your work. You have another support system that truly understand what you go through, because your friends outside work won't understand the way people outside the work problems than the people who you work with. There's just, and again, that sense of community is gonna be lacking. You can only say word of mouth, but even when I tell you stories, there's just a way, Simba, for example, you can't relate, and the way these people will. And you never know, you get long-term friendships. Honestly, I feel I've gained that. Niels is now my best friend, and I need to stop name dropping. I have, my birthday, my workmates were there because they are a very good part of my life, and I value them so much. I think friendships should be a thing. Don't seclude yourself.
Sure.
Especially if you work from home.
A lot of wisdom. I don't know where to start after that. But it's true. And I think also for you, you've been lucky because, as you said, you found them as friends. It was also a very small group. and that is when it's now growing. So it's you formed the culture, sort of. Now it's a bit different when you find a culture has already been formed. People already have their cliques. That's why you're like, hey, hapa naanzia wapi? I think for me, I'm a very friendly person, so I'll be done to smile morning, so I'll form friends easily. But what I think I would do better is which we're going to talk about boundaries, just keep it sometimes a bit surface level, especially maybe for the first year or something, because I think for me, even me now, it became a thing of, okay, maybe because I'm also a good listener, so someone would come tell me about their personal life, and then you feel, I need to reciprocate. This friendship won't be the same way, or this person also wants me to reciprocate. But now I was like, at each point I was like, wait, I feel like I'm oversharing with these strangers, with these people, and sometimes people get now entitled to information, so they'd ask her, but I'm like, but you're the one who told them, so now you have to tell them more and more and more and more. So I feel like I overshared a lot with my friends, and later on realized that some of them were not the best of people to be connected with. So I'd suggest don't be too quick to form deep bonds. It doesn't have to be so deep, but that someone knows everything about you, knows if they want to tell you better, but also don't overhear other people's stories also sometimes. But like what you said, it helps in terms of you will need it. You will definitely need it. The motivation to come to work sometimes, even just when you're going to go for lunch with someone, is good. But I feel like we also have to remember that everyone is here for one thing, a job. And the moment now your friendship, or there's a promotion someone wants that you also want, and they can only promote one person, everyone will come, and everyone is looking out for themselves at the end of the day. So I'd also suggest that make sure that your main focus is work. It's not gossip. It's not ubeshte, because it's before you were friends, you were colleagues, and that should always be the number one thing, And I think even sometimes some friendships that were formed in the workplace even do better once one person leaves, and those are the ones that are meant to be, because sometimes you just need, it's a bond formed by we come to work together, we work together. You're completely different, you have different values, but because we share this space, we are forced to be friends, you get. But now once one of you has moved on or is in a different, and you see that you can still maintain that friendship when you're not gossiping about your boss, you're not you're not as invested because it's your ex-boss. So that make a lot of sense. But so I feel like most friendships thrive after that. So when you're there, be a bit alert. But as Ali said, no man is an island. You will need. You don't know everything, and that's why there are offices. That's why there are organizations. There's one person who knows something. You know this other thing, so you will need it. But do it with a lot of wisdom. Don't even things like sometimes. Okay, but I think again it depends on the environment. But even just going out for drinks, some people can't. I've said it ends there. Because now you're going, you're lit, you're having fun. Next minute you're the talk of the office.
I think your office culture really contributes a lot to how you actually should live your friendships. It's funny when you say that, because I was listening to this other podcast that I really like listening to, and they were talking about how the work culture these days has become very romanticized, or the Gen Z millennial type of vibe thing. But also now, especially the work from home culture, or just, it's like you now make friends at work, and you want these friends to also be the people you're sharing your personal things with. You also want them to be your shoulder to lean on,
your party friends.
You want them to be basically your everything. You lose touch with those boundaries that you're talking about, that now
this is work
that this is work, or this is this, and maybe this person does not have the time to listen to you. Okay, right now I want to focus on work, or I want to do this, and maybe it comes out as rude, or now you're excommunicated because you don't, this girl doesn't like chilling with us after what, because now the work culture has become
we're all buddies, we're all best friends.
And don't get me wrong, I feel like, again, it depends on the industry also you work in. And I think even me, I struggle to have those boundaries with my workmates, because truthfully, I'm a victim. My workplace, everyone is friends. And quite frankly, it was opposite. I think my boss, or rather the way we've been structured is, except maybe just me, they were all friends before they became workmates. So now for me, it's kind of opposite of trying to set the boundaries of when do I stop being this friend and now start being a colleague. And I think that's now their struggle when it comes to that, because and I think that's it's unique from the way other, it's different from how typically other organizations are. I mean, my current gym accountability partners are my workmates. We've traveled together before. They never make me feel like, hey, now you're oversharing. But there are also times I catch myself and I'm like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have said that, or maybe I shouldn't have. There are things that, okay, also depending on the hierarchy. Now there are things I can't tell my boss. Or, sorry, David, I know he's an avid listener these days.
Thank you, David.
But there are
you're
things
missing out on the tea.
Yeah, there's some teas that I just can't tell him, and sometimes it makes it so difficult. I struggle when I'm having a tiff with him, or someone in the office, or we're arguing basically, and these things will happen. Of course, it's work dynamic. Like, no, I feel like this is the way I want to do it. This is the structure. I don't think the way things are you're taking it is the same. Whatever. When we're having a nini. But then now it's my birthday weekend. And this is my friend.
Yeah.
But I think we've also, tried to figure out a way of, or rather the way I normally see it is like, this is still like, we're whatever, but everyone's trying to do the best for the company. Nobody's doing it to the malicious intent. And even if we are, we are back and forth, upper Slack and whatever, I'll still text him on normal text and be like, hey, this weekend, are you pulling up? Like, oh, did you see what? So still trying to, and I agree, but I feel like there's also another side to it where having a friendship also makes it easier for you to work, even if sometimes the boundaries to you might not be exceeded. Also depends on the work culture, that it makes you still want to work extra hard for this person to make, or within the company to contribute to some way. And I don't know. I think my situation is a bit different, but
everyone's situation is different.
I don't know. Until now, I'm struggling to see where boundaries are. Because mimi napenda kuongea. Jidina kuongea na boundaries.
Even me, that's where I caught myself. Until it reached a point, someone said something to me, and I was like, okay, you've crossed the line. But then I was like, but you don't allow them. You've been telling them, come.
But also, like, have you communicated that maybe these are boundaries you don't want to be crossed? But maybe do you even want to?
Then as I realized I'm about to quit and they'll forget about me.
Fair.
So,
Anyway.
But anyway, something you said, I saw something now on Twitter, even you reminded me. Some guy is employed, he's been working hard, he's been saying he built a house. Some create a boss housewarming. Oh, boss, akona inyumba. Ni smart sana. Unse anapata ido kwa hii like,
this is
apparently he was fired or something crazy like that, or put for some case. I can't remember the complete story. And I was like, hey, so I was just reading the comments, and guys are like, me
boundaries for sure.
Office inaisha office. Ati sasa mmekuja kwangu. Hata mwezi jua kwangu kuna kaa aje. But as you're saying, times are changing also. The older generation and how that work space has been created, it's like man eat man society, kila mtu on your grind. But now it's more of, we have, as you said, you go to gym together, you're celebrating each other's wins. It's sort of a family, so it's different. So wewe kama umejipata kwa hizo companies za older generations,
just jua your work culture
and different systems and different cultures, you adjust accordingly.
You don't, just because I'm saying my other work was ending when work is ending. Weekend, why are you contacting me? Like, what do we have to discuss? The only person I used to talk to was Niels, and he wasn't even in Kenya, so it was easy to just give him tea. So yeah, that's
International.
I had boundaries except when I started this job. So bado sijui boundaries ziko wapi.
Yeah, maybe there's been no need.
Yeah,
but
so
maybe
far,
as the team grows and all of that.
Yeah, as the team grows, I think also maybe it's because now I have a set of 4 people that now I fully need. But hey, of course now there are things again. Nimejua, maybe hapa sitasema. There are things
so
I can't
already
tell
you're
David.
adjusting.
Yeah, there are some adjustments. I can't tell David this. I can't tell Dominic this. I can't tell Gabriel this. And I'm sure they have their boundaries. They don't know about their things.
They don't tell you things.
No, I do. Again, I know so much about them, but I know also them, there are things they keep to themselves. And that's totally fine. I don't tell them about my depression. Okay, I'm not depressed, but you know what I'm saying.
Okay, are you announcing? Are you okay?
I'm not depressed. I don't know where that... I'm not telling them about some of the tough times that I maybe share with some of my close friends.
Yeah.
But I share just enough. I don't think I say anything that I wouldn't say anywhere. Me, I'm an open book 9 times out of 10. So,
yeah. Anyway, moving on swiftly. I think we've really discussed friendships. So yeah, relationships. It's always tricky when you're smashing someone. Or maybe not even smashing, but mnaanza tu. Yeah. I would say I've never had experience with that. Of course, there was a guy I used to have a crush on in the office, but it died as soon as it started.
No, you are still like an office crush. Not
but
necessarily in your
he
organization.
wasn't based at the office.
Yeah.
So he used to come like
try
every
avoid
Monday.
outside your organization.
Alexia. Hey! My dose for the week.
Dose for the week.
Till next week. Yeah, but it wasn't serious, So I've not experienced that. Oh, I've just remembered. There was a colleague who, was quite interested in me and wanted to see if we can take next steps. It wasn't mutual, which I communicated, and he was someone who was in my. Let me not. Anyway, yeah. Yeah. So, but it didn't progress, So that's the only experience I've had in terms of.
I think it's very common for people to meet at workplaces.
Yeah, because you're spending so much time together. So, and your feelings, yeah, so
you're starting
normal.
to feel
It's very normal. But now, have you had experience with that?
I don't think I've had experience in my organization, but I work in an office where it's other people also working. So me, every other week I have an office crush. Me, that's the beauty. I love my office because every 3 months a new lot of people comes and you just, investigate, say hi. It's even exciting to come to the office. Just, hi, how was your weekend? But I don't think I follow through like that with anything. But I think as our office policy is like, if you have something, just admit. But I know things will change when you start saying it in me.
But even in general, the policies you just have to tell HR. But now you see that's everyone in your business.
Now everyone now knows.
HR's office is the most gossip. Danny,
I really just feel it. I don't advise for people to name with their workmates. But if it happens, imagine you're not going to be the first person in the whole world to do bad manners with someone in your office. I think it's something very common. Be mature about it. Don't now make it affect, oh my gosh, I'm going to the office to see this person. You act a certain way. That day. When you're in meetings, everyone can just feel some energy is off. Just he
laughs with another girl. Hey, she's your enemy now.
One day you'll go off, or maybe you drink alcohol and then boom, you're having an office party.
Drama zingine hata make sense. Yeah, it's such a thin line. It's
Try
so
really
scary,
avoiding that drama, or at least if things happen, just set some boundaries and say this should not affect work. Easier said than done.
Yeah, but they always say one person to leave the organization. If it's serious.
Kama mume sleep up once nini. Endeleni na maisha. Like, okay, so mnataka ku act like whatever.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, I can't sit next to I feel like if you don't have the maturity to just move on, just don't do it.
True. But if you must, be ready for the consequences. Also know who you're dealing with. Because now if it's your senior,
if you're now
there's always that power dynamic, power play. Then once kukata.
Even you as a boss, Hey, there was something scandal up on Nigerian fintech company, wherever. You can say at I'm just messing with one of the employees. That employee will come and sue your ass when things hit the fan and say my boss is taking advantage of employees and having sexual relations with me.
Those lines are very thin.
Very dangerous. Alafu you are cheating with another employee. Just be smart, be very please.
You know where the danger is.
You know where the danger is. Please, just
be wise about it.
Be wise. Be wise about it. Yeah. Be very wise about it. It can really ruin dynamics, especially if you're not in the same level at you're senior nini. I think that's normally the worst one.
Yeah. Someone anashikilia promotion yako.
And now let's say
you've got a new boyfriend.
Let's also say you've communicated with your workmates that, this happened with Nani, my boss, and then say a promotion, even if you deserve it, it will come. Whether you like it or not, it will come and be like, maybe she's getting because on a party.
Sasa wako na bestie kwa ofisi. Umemwambia, mimi ananiasi. She will use that against you.
She will use it. After that, boundaries with your bestie, put it.
Yeah. Be careful.
Be very careful.
Yeah, it ends mostly everybody. And premium, it's so bad, especially people now being.
Hey, digital corporate will have this much drama by the way.
Hey, Nabado, it's usually a mess.
It's such a mess.
Yeah, sometimes I hear stories, you're like, comes to some certain industries. Anyway, next is basically what we'll be talking about, just boundaries, and we can even talk about this in terms of, remember that time we were talking and just burnout, and when to say, me, I work 9 to 5, if I'm on leave, please don't call me. As one team member is slacking, which affects you.
That is where the danger is.
Yeah.
Mi hapo sasa pia sijui bado. I feel like my work is also very flexible hours, but it's like their flexibility is towards one direction. Those people like are night owls. I'll start my work at 9 or 8. I'll come to the office. If I leave the office at 6, even 6 is late. 5, I'm looked at like I'm the one who
is bringing the company down.
How are you leaving at 5? Like, are you not seeing? And every time you're leaving at 5.
I feel like unless it's official that we work at night, I will do my hours, my work is done, work at night. You know, if it should be better, you say, okay, these are my official work hours. You guys, if those are yours, if you want a uniform one, kila mtu agree. It's not on paper, don't look at me badly. Yeah. Don't look at me badly.
Lol, anyway.
But
boundaries, sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, boundaries I think are important, with all relationships.
Especially the work time. Especially if you put yourself as that person who's always available 11 a.m., 11 p.m., 12. Trust you, people will really take advantage. And if you set those boundaries and you say, okay, even I know when you're starting off, of course you have to put in the extra work. Like hard work also has to be there. Not every day you're going to be expected to do specific hours. Sometimes it's considered lazy because, some people are really putting in the work and you're going to have to put extra hours sometimes. That's just the way it is. But sometimes it shouldn't be now your entire personality for you to be that person for after hours all the time. I think even if you communicate, hey, maybe on Wednesdays, respectfully, I'm not normally available at this time, or, I have family things to do.
And I think for me, one thing that now practically, I remember even just at work, lunch break used to be like from 1 to 2. And I find when I sat on my desk, kuna watu angekuja na other things, and me, but then I used to pick phone calls at lunchtime. And I used to, niko lunch. And if that means I'll go have lunch outside the office, I will go outside. Because utapata mtu amekuja na ma agency zake. Your agency is not my agency. Like if you didn't do your things the time you're supposed to do, I'm on lunch break. So I was very particular about lunch break. Even if I decide I'm going to sit on my desk, you won't bring 2 p.m. Okay, we can come tell me what's up. Especially if no one is dying at tea. Yeah.
I work in marketing. Nobody's ever dying.
Yeah, so for me, that was one thing I had to really, just something small like lunch break, honestly. But
lunch break 1 hour please. Angalau patia watu lunch break.
Sasa umeanza nini? Oh, can I get this? Can you send me this?
And you know what's funny about corporate deadlines is they're genuinely deadlines that people put for themselves. Like
put by humans. Someone said and humans can adjust things.
Like we have we have to hit this by the end of this month, and yes, they're there, but sometimes you really think about like, okay, but if I don't, like
what will happen?
Yes,
let's see. Will life stop?
Will
anyone even notice?
Hey, I think before you say the next point, I think one thing is you're always anxious. Okay, for me at least.
Yeah.
It's either you're scared you're about to fuck up or you fucked up. Okay, this is what someone was telling me the other day from someone we work with. I won't mention names, but yeah. Or you're coming out of a fuck up. Okay, to a meeting, you're like, guy, what have I done? I feel like personally, I think I'm always just anxious. Like,
yeah, that's true. Because I used to sit where my boss sees me. Hey, I was moved to next to the office. That was the worst position ever. Una say to Alexia.
You start to calculate.
It's just like, oh, can you just call Nani? Sasa, all that anxiety. Do you know how my heart is doing here? Yeah, but it's a lot because it's still something it's a performance based.
Yeah, at
environment.
The same time, it is a performance-based environment.
You're always checking yourself.
But you should also check yourself, which is I think we're also gonna
talk about growth and stuff like that. Yeah, so anyway, put those boundaries. Even as we said with your friendships, just be like, hey, where Apple?
It's better for you to have closer friends that are not in your workplace than it is that now these become your workmates and they are your best friends. They are your everything. Yeah. Have a life, please, as well.
Tough love. Yeah. Next is about the money. It's about the money. I think when as you said, when obviously when you're in entry level, some things you just accept. Because I'm just thinking about what I used to accept. Plus transport 5 days a week. But then that Saturday I should have asked for more money because there's an extra money. But for me at that time, as I said, my main focus was money. My main focus was getting myself out of the house. Expect a bit. Consult also with people. Also negotiate in a way that you can say, okay, give me 3 months on this salary. After that, let's review. Because again, if it's entry level, you've not done anything, there's nothing to base your performance on. But you can get the work done. Ask for more money.
At least
ask for more money.
Ask for more money.
Yeah.
At least I think after 3 months is enough for you to prove yourself, or you do if even like you've done enough to prove yourself. And because even when you're asking for more money, you have to have something to back it.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind while you're making friends, doing your bare minimum, not putting the extra hours sometimes when you need to.
Yeah.
When you want that promotion, how are you going to get it?
Yeah. So it's important. And I think also, as we were saying, when your first salary, you can feel, hey, yes. Or even not when you're first, when you're second, maybe umepewa an extra 30K. They're like, wow, I was earning 20, now I'm earning 50. Hey, I'm earning double plus 5. Plus 10. Ooh, my math. Yeah. So it's like, hey, you can sort of lose yourself. Allow yourself to enjoy the money because again, you're working.
But I always recommend wasting your first 3-4 salaries.
Yeah.
But those first ones are normally so small. What are you like saving? Okay, I feel like it's very difficult to save sometimes in entry level money. If I don't know if I'm the only one who's feeling, but that's how I normally feel. Because you start even distributing.
So if I save 100 bob,
it will save kiaji.
Where is the saving coming?
Maybe 100 bob. Yeah.
It will come to help you one day. Yeah, so I think just plan for your money also, because 1 minute, yes, you're employed, and then if you decide, okay, now my money just hits the account by the first week, it's out, it's finished.
You need to
what life is that? Sasa advance, utaanza kupewa advance every month, ama unaomba pesa every month from someone no good kazi. I'm not saying that in a privileged way, because I know sometimes there's no money, but know yourself.
Yeah.
And know
at the end
your
of the day, keep in mind you are employed. Today, if they decide you are gone and you've not been doing some bit of saving, you're fucked. That's just the reality. You start getting comfortable in your comfortability. Maybe people are not seeing you grow in your performance, or you're not adding.
You're not
as
doing
much
anything
value.
extra.
There are people who have gotten fired because their roles have become redundant.
Imagine.
What does that even mean?
Oh, I want us to talk about that on the next point, which is growth. But save, guys. Save. Jipanga budget. At the end of the day, your employer akisema, it's done. You don't know when you're gonna get your next job.
People are being cut. Ask yourself.
COVID came.
Are you one of the people who are likely to be in the chopping board because there's not much impact that is being seen from you?
And then things like COVID came, things that no one saw. People are taking job cuts. People, either you're fired, either your salary is cut into half. So enjoy your money, but don't get too comfortable. Anything can happen. Yeah. The company can be struggling, and they say, "Hey, now we are going to really reduce salary." So Oh, now let's move to growth. When you said people like your position is
redundant.
Redundant. So that's one thing I'm gonna tell guys is, don't get comfortable. Grow. Once you're in the job market, you can figure out what else can I do. How can I upskill myself? Because even every time you join somewhere, you're like, even now you're in a different industry. There are things you've mentioned, getting even if it's basic information. So by the time you're looking for a promotion or you're looking for the next place to go to, you have something extra that you're bringing with you. And people say always grow horizontally, upskill horizontally. If you've done if you've done like marketing, maybe now do design or what else PR or something, grow like this. Don't go, you can go do a master's in marketing, but look for other things that can complement what you already have.
Skills already are.
So that's one thing I'd say. And some employers are really 100%. Good. They'll take you to school. I have classmates who are being paid for by their organizations. Even if it's partial, you just sit down to upskill. I feel like it can add to the company. Kindly, let's work something out. There are good employers. There are people who can do that. There's a lot of courses online. There are professional papers. There are always.
There's the internet. Nakwambia yo YouTube yenye hadi niliacha 3 years ago to this day. I can still say I'm a video editor because I edited 42 videos on YouTube.
Amazing, honestly. And even now, you're doing,
we can edit
even
this podcast,
sound. Audio, so if there's some jobs you don't think you can apply for, but you can work Instagram. In a studio even, you know
how to take pictures on Instagram. Like it's the thing, the small. You know how to use, guys, learn Canva. Please just learn Canva.
And that one is basic, but you need Canva.
If you think it's basic, you'll be surprised how many people don't know how to create presentations or use Canva. Like you receive proposals and you actually you're shocked. Even graphic designers, even this year I just introduced you, not to say your work is beautiful, but people don't know about
the power that the tool has.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah,
I think when for our YouTube video templates, we started with Canva.
Our intro that you've just seen, I created that thing on Canva, all of it. Kijokes too.
Yeah, it's how I think it's like.
Yeah. Hey, how do you do it? People will pay you 20,000 for those things that you're ignoring.
Exactly.
100,000 even.
Exactly. So guys, upskill.
I have some things on the side.
Yeah.
Depending on the industry you're in, or what other things that can elevate your needs, like Alexia is saying. Do them.
Do them.
Do those courses.
Even like Google digital skills. That's a digital skills marketing course, free from Google. I did that during COVID when I was doing professional papers in marketing. And until today, I say I learned my digital marketing from those courses. Not even from what I learned in school. Yeah. It's from that course. It was so in-depth. It was simple.
I did the HubSpot ones.
I remember even the exam, I was scared. Because it was serious. But I passed. I was so happy. You'd think like it's a degree in Peter. And they give you a very nice certificate. I'm telling you, even if you want to start a business today, businesses nowadays have moved to the digital. You have to be. You have to have a presence online.
Guys,
if you just do that course, you will have SEO knowledge. You'll have website knowledge. You'll have a lot of knowledge. Of course, not in depth, but good enough for me to say it was really good. It was really good. Yeah. Anyway, so that don't get comfortable.
Don't get.
As you said, that company, Ishe. utoke nje uone hata
Leo
in your
crisis
office
happened.
hata your job you are just being kept there because there's no job, there's no other job description like that one used to do. You get out there.
Yeah.
Unashanga, okay, if you're doing nini, you can do project management, you can always upskill. Yeah, that's it. Instead of going to buy botis as you spend 10,000. Yeah.
Endelea kuwa bazu kwa club na wewe si bazu uko kwa kazini, wacha tuone where it will take you.
Na watu when you don't have a job, people still go to the club. People have stopped going to the club because the friend has no job and no money. Very few times.
Life will really move on. Even when you're unemployed and crying, life will move on.
Yeah.
And I mean that in a very nice way and not in a privileged way. Like, it's the sad reality of
work. It's even us, we've seen it.
Like, one day you're employed, tomorrow you're not.
Yeah.
And life genuinely moves on, but you feel like your life is stuck. So always set yourself up. Have contingencies for yourself. Ask yourself sometimes, if this doesn't work, or if today this is not new, what will be my next move, and what am I doing to prepare myself for the next move? I think you should more often than not ask yourself that question. Yeah.
Next, and I think lastly, we've enjoyed talking about this, is about gender roles in the workplace. And there's this book, it's called Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office. And there's a babe I follow, and she was chamboying the book one day. She was just like, hey. And this way I picked up about gender roles. And she was like, women really baby men in the office, wife men in the office. Unapata you're serving a man tea. Remember there's one guy who used to work in the office, used to annoy me. But he can't go to the kitchen. Can you go? I'm not your wife. At home, maybe you don't see the kitchen in your house. Here, me, utanituma chai. One person I used to feed tea. Tea was my colleague and she was pregnant, so I told her I'll take care of her. That one at least. And maybe my two besties. But a whole grown man, me, I serve you tea. And you're not my boss. My boss, I can help you with tea. When you mkubwa. Yeah. So it got me thinking about gender roles, and even me, I think it's something that I've been trying to channel more of my feminine energy. You know, sometimes you're so body, you're such a man in your own life, so you do things for yourself and all that. And yeah, I think it's something that I'd like to encourage ladies as you get into the corporate world. Stop being the one that is wiping. Someone has spilled window nenda. Una wipe. And I'm not saying don't be kind. Of course, there's the usual, But sometimes you can find yourself mothering grown men, wifing grown men, doing things for men, and a man won't do the same for you. Yeah.
It's giving old industry vibes. I don't think those things you mentioned are things that I thankfully I've not had to struggle with because everyone is kind of always responsible for their own things. What I will say is that women, be fearless. Don't feel, the reasons why men get so far sometimes is because they ask for what they want fearlessly and courageously, or even set themselves up to say, okay, if I what I want, the salary I want to reach, what do I do to make myself get there? And they'll work towards it. Women will kind of like wait it out,
laugh it, giggle it out,
kiki, maybe be nice, be the pet of the office until I finally get recognized. Don't be that woman.
Yeah, you won't.
Be the woman who is, if things are not right or something is affecting the way you're doing your job, you say what is affecting you. Don't be afraid to call people out of their nonsense. Don't be afraid to also just admit when you're wrong, to speak up. I think the soft skill of being confident and communicative and saying no when things are wrong and yes when things are right does a lot more for you than you think. I think that element already shows elements of a leader, which is exactly what employers always look for, even when they're setting a promotion. Alice is like this, but when something is a certain way, she'll speak.
Yeah.
She'll speak about it.
She's not a pushover.
She's not a pushover.
Hata kama let's say you're being promoted unapelekwa states, a whole country. A whole new continent and country. Yeah. Don't look at it per se for the mnyonge person. Someone who will be firm. Hata if we take her somewhere, we know she'll do a good job. If you take her to the head office, you know, she's like a strong person.
She's a strong woman.
So and being strong, like Minati, again, you can be an introvert and still be strong. You can be quiet and still be strong.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not a thing about that personality.
No, it's just a thing about learning how to have the necessary tools, working smart, and knowing some people in the office you can see they are not even doing anything, but they're the one who will get the promotion because they know how to navigate. You need to be smart. Usome your organization vizuri, know where to. I know this I'm working so hard on this, but this thing that will take you 1 hour is what will make the entire difference. There's something that was funny, or rather that I normally find very interesting about consultants or just working in this in whatever industry, is that normally the supervisor or the one in charge or the one who says do this and do that and do that will get the most recognition and will receive the most praises, or we'll see rather than the person who's created that Excel sheet, has spent hours doing those things, rather than the person who's doing the scat work, basically, that is going to be the most impactful to what the results is. But the boss doesn't care about that. The boss cares about results. Huyo mtu mwenye is the leader, amesoma akasema hapa najonga mtu mwenye anafanya Excel na mlipa tu 2K hapa atakuwa amenisort hapo, huyo amenisort hapa, rather than you so wende umekazana hapo nini you at the thing anajua sasa they want the data, I'll read this data, it will take me 1 hour, the presentation will be flawless. You, the person who now you've decided you're going to focus on the things that don't add as much impact. People don't care about
the 80-20 rule.
8 hours on this thing. Is it going to make the difference that they want to see? It is not. You need to really work smart and know the right people and talk to the right people, and just don't forget to enjoy when you can. Because at the end of the day, again, you spend so much time with these people, and there's so much fun you can get out of it, honestly. Because the one time you may not be employed or you decide to start your own thing, there are very many things you'll miss about working in the corporate world. Yeah, that's my closing statement.
For me, I think it's very exciting. I've seen people in their careers in their 50s and reading their stories and seeing where some of them started. There's a lady, she's the CEO. No, I think MD. Okay, big job, top job. At one of the big fours, and she said when she started she didn't know accounting. She's like, I'm working in an audit firm, na sijui accounting. See, I'll just be, I think she was just a funny, not a funny job, but not a posh job. She's like, I'll be stupid to not learn accounting and expect to grow in such a company, and it's a big four, this multinational. And that's how she started. She joined CPA. She claimed, and now she's the big boss, and she's a lady. It's amazing. So it really inspired me, and I was like,
it's also inspiring. There's a lot of things. I think there's a lot of beauty in it. And as much as people say, I don't want to sit a 9 to 5, or I don't want to work a corporate job, you don't have to. But honestly, it's for someone. People can make you feel like it's not for you. You don't. Why are you sitting at a desk? But imagine the people who absolutely enjoy it.
That.
The security of it, the stability of it. I'm just. You get insurance, or the companies will. Again, you said they'll pay your school fees for some of these, your masters. I don't know. Sometimes there are bonuses. I don't know, as we are paid for gym subscriptions, just the small things that about life, it makes it easier flowing, and it's very routine. You know exactly what you need to do to get to whatever. Not to put it down anyone who's doing entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is also beautiful, but
it's just different also.
It's a different nini that I can't speak on. And I would eventually, of course, maybe I'd also love to have my own thing. But don't let people discourage you from doing a corporate job, because they can be fun in itself, and there's a lot you can gain from it. And I always encourage, at least even if it's 1 year of experience, even if you're entrepreneurship oriented, just do a bit You'll pick up so
You
many
pick
things.
up. So even me, I've picked up
Even
for
you
1
picked
year.
up so many
I'm
things.
on a 1 year break, and I'm like, I picked up a lot actually, and at least when I get back, if I'll get back, God knows everything. Yeah, but also as you said, they accept the season you're in. Maybe you have a big business idea, but now you need cash. Maybe you need capital.
You need money
to start.
You need capital
So
to start the
if you
idea.
decide, okay, I'm working hard for 5 years and I want to get this amount, I want to save this amount of money, and I want to, or maybe you have a skill that can make money for you, but maybe you want to move out of town. There are many things, you have to sit with yourself. I was sitting with someone, and she started a business. It's been running for about 3 years, but it's gotten a bit tough, and like she's a those, I don't want to give too many details, but anyway, I'm a summer. And she was like, okay, I love my business, but I reached a point where I want to be in the next 5 years. My business is not picking up as fast as to support that dream. And she was considering going back, getting employed. I don't think she's ever been employed even. She was like, I think I need to get a job. And I was like, wow, because it's those type of people you think, I was like, okay, but now you can't be having cocktails at 3 p.m. because you're at work. But I was like, it makes sense. Why not? Why not? You're still young. You as I've said, Musau, so she can make it. She can even make more money than what she's making right now.
And the lessons you pick from entrepreneurship, nobody can take it away from
Yeah, and I'm like, maybe it's just that season that she needs that extra cash to kick in, and why not? Yeah. So, thank you guys for tuning into this episode. We've enjoyed it.
We'll keep you updated as the years go by.
Maybe we'll do a part 2 at some point.
Yeah.
God willing. Anyway, so I'll see you guys. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I know you enjoyed this one, so there's no reason for you not to like.
At this time, and you're not subscribed.
And subscribe. Also, you can let us know in the comments some of the things that you've picked up if you work in a corporate, or even just if you're in business, or just anything. Yeah, just
we'll also ask on stories for real.
Yeah.
Like, what are some of the things you've learned from your experience working in the corporate world? Yeah.
I mean, that's it.
Sawa.
Yeah.
I'll see you in the next one.
Bye.